Welcome to Ground Effects. This is a Formula 1 racing game developed by Taito and released in Japan only, I believe, in 1992. That's right, I am covering another Taito racing game today. This is the only other one that I wanted to cover, though. I wanted to try and play this immediately after I did the double axle video a couple of weeks ago, but I decided to hold off on doing it for a little while, mainly because if you've been following my channel for a while, you already know that I like to have a lot of variety on the channel, so I just wanted to cover some other games in the meantime. But I do feel like enough time has passed, and I want to finally show this game off. I was originally going to do a double feature video where I was going to play both double axle and ground effects in the same video, but I'm kinda glad that I didn't, because I ended up making a lot more progress in the double axle video than I thought I would. As a matter of fact, I beat the entire game. You probably already know that if you have seen the double axle video, but yeah, I ended up completing the entire game, so I'm actually kinda glad that I decided to separate these two games into their own videos. Now that's all fine and good, of course, but what exactly is going on in ground effects? Well, as I stated previously, this is a Formula 1 racer where you are trying to beat everyone else in the race, cause I mean, that's literally the whole point of racing games after all. There's 4 different tracks that you can choose from in this particular game, so not as many levels as double axle, but most of the tracks are modeled after real-life road courses, except for one, because I'm pretty sure there's at least one track in this game that is fictional, and I'm not entirely sure if this is an officially licensed Formula 1 game either. It does seem like this game has quite a bit of licensing within it, though. It seems like there's a lot of licensed car manufacturers that appear in this game, including McLaren and Ferrari. It doesn't seem like any of the Formula 1 drivers that were active during the 1992 F1 season specifically are included in this game. Not only that, but you only get to race up to 7 different opponents in this game, which I'm guessing is probably due to technical limitations. It is another 16-bit racing game that uses a third-person perspective to simulate like a pseudo 3D environment, similar to what Taito did with Double Axle, and also very similar to what a lot of arcade racers around this time were also doing, especially a lot of the arcade racers that Sega were putting out, and also Namco to a lesser degree. I will say that this game definitely plays a lot more like pole position compared to double axle, and I mean in some ways this game does kind of feel like pole position, but basically just a much prettier looking version of it. I will be honest with you when I say that, much like double axle, there's not really anything about ground effects that really makes it stand out from the crowd. The entire game is quite literally just Formula 1 racing with no additional bells or whistles. It does seem to contain a significantly higher amount of licensed brands than pole position does, though. And after playing this game off screen for a good 20 minutes, I can kinda see why this game ultimately fell into obscurity, because it really is nothing too special. I mean, this game would have been competing with Virtua Racing around this time, because Virtua Racing came out the exact same year. And given that Virtua Racing was trying to push, like, real-time 3D polygons, as opposed to what Ground Effects was doing, which was just staying with the old-school 16-bit graphics with the third-person perspective, yeah, I kinda feel like this game didn't really stand a chance against Virtua Racing. In terms of fast-paced arcade racing games, I feel like Sega ultimately won that competition fair and square. I don't think most of the arcade racers that came out around this time period really lived up to the standards that Sega ended up setting with some of their own arcade racers, whether that be Virtua Racing or Daytona USA or even Outrun. So you're probably wondering then why I'm even showing this game off to begin with. Well, it's mostly because I just wanted to show off something really neat and obscure to you guys, cause I had no idea until recently that Taito made their own Formula 1 racing game. I had no idea this existed. And I wanted to, at the very least, demonstrate Taito's attempt at making their own Formula 1 racer, because I mean, even though it's not really that special of a game, I do feel like it is kind of generic in a way. It's definitely not a bad racing game by any stretch of the imagination, and I mean, it is actually surprisingly challenging as well. This is another arcade racing game where you are competing against a timer, and each lap that you complete in every race counts as a checkpoint, essentially, where you will get additional time. So it is actually kind of similar to Virtua Racing in that regard, and of course you have to maintain traction and also know when to brake at the right times, and try not to bump into any of the other cars on the track as well, because more often than not that just results in you spinning out, and you just end up wasting even more time as a result. Now, I do want to mention that there were two different versions of ground effects that Taito released in arcades. This is the original version of the game that I'm showing off, but Taito also released an alternate version of the game called Super Ground Effects. And from my knowledge, Super Ground Effects doesn't have any actual gameplay changes whatsoever. The only thing that they changed with Super Ground Effects is the cabinet itself. So the standard ground effects cabinet is a sit-down cabinet where it has like a chair that you can sit down on, and as you can see from this flyer that I'm showing on screen right here, this game did also have an analog steering wheel. I don't know if it had force feedback like Double Axle did. I have no idea, and there is also a pedal that you have to press down on, of course, in order to accelerate. There's a gear shift as well, and there's 6 different gears that you can move through in this particular game, as opposed to Double Axle, where there were only 2. Something that I do find really interesting about this game is that it did apparently have multiplayer support. You'll notice here that there's actually 4 different screens that are running ground effects. So I'm guessing that you were able to play this game with up to 4 players over like what I assume was probably akin to like LAN multiplayer. I'm not sure if Taito ever made a single player arcade cabinet for ground effects. I don't know, this might actually be the default arcade cabinet here. But it is possible to play this game solo. I do want to reiterate, this is not a multiplayer-only game. You can play this in single player. If we take a look at this flyer, we can see the cabinet design for Super Ground Effects. So the only real thing that they changed with this cabinet right here is that, well, the cabinet is in the shape of a Formula 1 car, and you can actually sit down inside it. But from my understanding, this was the only thing that they changed with the Super edition of the game. The arcade cabinet just has a different design, but the game itself is exactly the same. I mean, it does seem like this cabinet in particular is single player only, but I don't know if maybe they had also made a multiplayer variant of this cabinet too, like they did with the original. I'm not really sure. So with all that out of the way now, we are going to get started here, so I want to show you something really weird first. As you can see, we don't have any dip switch options this time around. There's no dip switches that you can enable or disable or change around or anything, so yeah, there's no settings at all that you can configure on this machine, which is very strange indeed. I would have liked it if maybe I could increase the amount of time that it gave me to complete laps, because I feel like that definitely would be very useful to me, but it doesn't seem like I can, so whatever, just have to live with it. Alright, well with that being said, let's pour some credits into the machine here and see how much of a disaster this video is going to be. Yeah, so you can choose between automatic and manual transmission. I do find that I can actually maintain my speed a lot better with manual transmission, but we're just going to go to automatic for now. I don't know what any of this text means, because this is all in Japanese and I can't read it. We're going to go to Thailand first. So this is the track right here that I'm pretty sure is fictional. I don't think there is a Thailand Grand Prix or Grand Prix that Formula 1 ever hosted. I don't believe that was ever a real thing, but we're gonna rev up our engines here. We're gonna get started. There we go. Wait for the green light. Okay, we're already going. Okay, well, frick. Yeah, it can sometimes be very difficult to predict when that green light is actually going to appear here. So, how exactly does ground effects play? Well, as you can see, you are just trying to race around the track, and you are trying to take these corners as best as you possibly can. You can't take the corners too fast, because as you can see, if you try to turn way too hard, you will begin to lose control of your car, but you can kind of put it into a bit of a drift there, as you can see. I don't know why exactly there's sparks that constantly fly off the vehicle there. I don't know if that's maybe like, I don't know, the bottom of the car hitting the asphalt constantly. I don't really know, but I don't think it has any profound effect on your vehicle. At least I don't believe that it does anyway. Yeah, you need to make sure not to hit any of the guardrails too hard, otherwise your car will literally flip into the air. And you don't want that to happen, obviously, because, okay, well, there we go. I just had that happen right there. Yeah, you don't want that to happen because that does slow you down significantly. And as you can see, you are on a timer right here. I believe each individual course only gives you a total of 60 seconds to complete a single lap. But of course, you can get additional time by completing laps. I think I just pushed that guy into the guardrail over there, actually. Okay, so I did say that you're only racing against 7 opponents in each of these races, and I mean, you in fact are, because there are only like 7 opponents that you have to try and pass in order to beat the race. But you will notice that there are these blue cars on the track as well that are just kind of roaming around on the track too, and if you pass them, that does not actually cause your position to increase whatsoever. So they're kind of just there to try and, like, I don't know, to try and, like, trip you up, I guess, or they're just put there as obstacles, I'm guessing. Yeah, so you just have to try your best to avoid them at all costs. I mean, it's not unlike pole position, though, because I'm pretty sure pole position had a variety of, like, AI opponents that you kind of just had to try and pass by to the best of your abilities, because they had no actual effect on, like, you know, your positioning. You want to get a good position in pole position, well, you had to get a good time, pretty much. And, well, I'm not gonna get a good time here, because I am about to run out of time, actually. Frick. Okay, well, yeah. I don't think it matters what position you're in if you run out of time. Because if you do run out of time, you always get 8th place. Yeah, and then you immediately get thrust back into the track selection screen here. But you will see that there aren't that many tracks to actually choose here, because there's only like 4 of them. We can go to a track that is modeled after a real-world track, though. This is the Circuit de Catalunya, I think that's how it's pronounced. It's probably not, but it's the Spanish Grand Prix that takes place in Barcelona, Spain. This is, in fact, a real track. So, I mean, I guess I could also say that, I guess because the tracks are supposed to be modeled after real-world road courses, I guess I could also say, like, another criticism that I could leverage against this game is that the track designs are not nearly as creative as they are in Double Axel. So I mean, I guess there is also that I can say about this game. I do still feel like Double Axel is a much more interesting game than this, but again, just wanted to demonstrate, like, Taito's attempt at creating a Formula 1 racing game. And I don't believe this was their only attempt at making a Formula 1 racer either, because I'm pretty sure Speed Race, which I did talk about briefly in my Double Axel video, was also modeled after Formula 1, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, this is another thing that I want to mention here. So, your car can also get damaged if you crash it into the guardrails too often. And when that happens, you can actually go into pit road, and you can repair your vehicle. There's also weather patterns as well. Wait a second, I actually did not see this before. So apparently there's weather patterns in this game as well, and, it's apparently raining now, or the track is, like, wet. The track is very wet and slippery. I actually did not see that when I was playing this game off-screen. I do know that the weather can sometimes change, or, like, the time of day can change specifically, because I think I was playing, like, one course off-screen where I completed a lap, and the time of day suddenly changed to sunset. So I do know that that can happen occasionally, but yeah, I did not know the weather could just completely change, though. I did not see this off-screen. This did not trigger at all. And not only that, but, like, sometimes when you crash into a wall or a guardrail or whatever, more often than not, it doesn't actually damage you. I think that's only, like, I think it's only on occasion when you crash into a wall that damage will appear on your vehicle, and you need to go into pit road in order to repair it. Like, that's the weird thing. That doesn't happen all the time. And I'm not entirely sure how many times you actually need to crash your car into the wall in order for damage to appear on it. I don't know if it's completely random, because it kind of feels like it is. Something else that I also don't really appreciate either is that you can't actually choose which car you want to race as. You're always stuck with this red and white car right here. I do believe that if you are playing in multiplayer, the other players get to play as their own vehicles. But again, I don't believe they can change their vehicles either. At least I don't think they can. I mean, I don't really know. There doesn't seem to be that much information regarding this game online, because it seems like this game is somehow even more obscure than Double Axle. And I don't really see how that's possible, considering, I don't know, this game does seem to have a lot of licensing in it, or at least for, like, licensed car manufacturers. I don't exactly know how this could have slipped even further under the radar than Double Axle. I mean, Double Axle was already fairly obscure to begin with. But anyway, this is the Brazilian Grand Prix right here. This is Interlagos, which is also another real racetrack. And once again, it is raining on this track as well, actually, which again, I did not ever see this weather pattern on this track either. You'll also notice that there is actually a mini-map showing you the entire layout of the circuit as well. So that is also something that I am actually using as a reference point, because I am, like, glancing over it occasionally, or glancing over towards it, just to see where exactly I am on the track. Oh, there we go, it cleared up. Oh, there's a nice rainbow in the sky. I don't know if you guys can see that, because my rear view mirror is in the way. Okay, yeah, there we go. That's a much better angle right there. Okay, that's very nice. That's very nice indeed. But again, I never saw those weather patterns before. I didn't know that was an actual feature in the game, because it never triggered at any point. At least, not for me, when I was playing this off screen. I also really need to stop, like, ramming into everything. Oh my god, dude. This is just absolutely ridiculous. Okay. I mean, I don't really want to use the brakes too often, because I feel like I also, I feel like the brakes slow me down way too much sometimes. And I mean, I'm racing against the clock here, man, so I have to go fast. I don't have a choice. I gotta keep going really fast here. I also can't tell if the rain is actually making the track more slippery, or if it's just purely an aesthetic thing. I just can't freaking tell what is happening right now. But anyway, this is the San Marino Grand Prix, which is also another real-life racetrack, because I believe this track is more commonly known, or more popularly known as Imola. Once again, this is a real racetrack that Formula 1 has competed on in the past, and I'm pretty sure they still do, even to this day. I'm fairly certain. Alright, let me try to take those corners a little bit better. Also, it's also raining on this track as well again, it seems, or it's just like overcast, I think. Oh my god. God, what are these little chicanes right here? I think that's the correct term, right? Chicanes? Oh god. I'm always worried that I'm just gonna crash into the science and just completely frick myself as well. Oh god, okay, there we go. I don't want to go into pit road right now, though. Okay, yeah, the road is actually wet. Yeah, I really cannot tell if it's making it more slippery. It doesn't seem like it is. I feel like I have the same amount of traction on the track right now as I did before, when it was sunny outside. Oh god. Yeah. I mean, you know, the crashes in this game are not as spectacular as they are in pole position, because, I mean, you crash into one tiny thing in pole position, your car literally blows up. So, I mean, oh my god, dude, what is this? Oh, okay, somebody's tire is just going, rolling around. Just rolling and bowling. That just came from, like, off-screen as well. That was kind of funny. Oh, yeah, the 8th place guy. Whoever was in 8th place is apparently stuck now. Because look at him. You see him? He's just stuck, man. I think his car, like, completely broke down or something. That's really weird. I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch up to him in time, but we can try and see where exactly he went. Yeah, that blue car is just spinning out as well. There we go. Yeah, we don't care about the blue cars, though. The blue cars are just mindless drow-ins that apparently aren't even competing in this race. They're just here because reasons. I don't know. Just to fill out the rest of the grid or something. I don't even know. Oh, wait, I actually already passed him. I just realized on the mini-map. Oh, God. Okay, well, I mean, I got really close to completing another lap. Oh, no, I did actually finish in 7th that time. Alright, well, at least we're not finishing in last place. That's the good thing, right? That's a good thing, at least. Okay, well, that's literally all the tracks there. So, I mean, what in the frick? Okay, let's try manual transmission this time. I want to see if I can actually complete a race with manual transmission. So I am playing this on Mayhem, and I do believe that in order to shift gears, if you're playing this on Mayhem, you press the spacebar. I do believe. The controls in this game are very simple, because, I mean, you just have analog steering wheel, gear shift, and pedal. That's just it. There's no special items that you can use like you can in Double Axle. So let's just try and do this here. There we go. Okay, yeah, the spacebar does work. We can try this on the training course here. like I said, I do feel like it is actually a little bit easier to play this on manual transmission, because I feel like I can actually maintain my speed a lot more when I'm going through turns. Or, more accurately, when I'm drifting through turns, as you can see right here. I do feel like I actually maintain my speed a lot more. Like when I'm trying to... Okay, well, not when I'm bumping into other people, but... When I'm like, yeah, because I stay in the 6th gear, so I don't really lose that much speed. Whereas before, if I was just braking with automatic transmission, it would automatically shift the gears down, and I would lose a lot of speed. So, yeah, I don't feel like I lose control at all. I feel like I actually have more control over my car. It's kind of weird. But we can try and play it like this for a while. Oh, God. Okay, there we go. God, there's just a lot of blue cars in the background all of a sudden. Where the frick did they come from? I think in order to shift gears down, I have to press the Alt key, if I'm not mistaken. But it's okay, it's okay. I know what I'm doing, man. I know what I'm doing. Wait, is that the 4th place driver right there? Okay, wait a second. I just realized something. The positions on these cars are really weird. Because... Or is this just like... Okay, no. So, my car is number 1. But I'm in 8th place. So, my line of thinking was that, depending on which position that all the vehicles are in, that their numbers would change accordingly. Because I thought the numbers were like... That guy just flew right over my head. Holy crap, dude. What even was that? Well, that was spectacular, but... As I was saying, like, I thought that the numbers represented the positions that all the vehicles were in. So I thought, like, number 1 meant that I was in 1st place. Oh, okay, my gearbox has been completely destroyed. Well, someone's wheel got destroyed in the back. I saw another tire rolling across the track there. Okay, well, that was just, laughable. Absolutely laughable, dude. What even was that? I don't even know. Let's go back to Barcelona for a minute. Yeah, but my line of thinking was that the numbers on those little symbols would change, or those little icons would change depending on what position you were in. But maybe that just represents the actual number of my car? That's really weird. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. That is kind of throwing me off just a little bit. Okay, I think I cranked the engine a little too hard there, because I think I just ended up like burning out. There we go. Very nice indeed. Okay, yeah, it's not that difficult to use manual transmission on this. It's really not. God, it's raining again now all of a sudden. This is really strange how it's suddenly triggering the weather patterns when it wasn't doing that at all when I was playing this off screen like a half hour ago. That is really odd how this is only happening now. Yeah, I don't exactly know why this is only triggering for me now and it wasn't triggering at all off screen. That's really odd, but yeah. So, I mean, I don't really know what else to say about this. I mean, this is ground effects, guys. That is the entire game. So, basically, Taito's attempt at creating a Formula 1 racer, and I mean, it's decent. Definitely looks a lot prettier than Pole Position, for absolute sure. Especially since Pole Position was also technically a 16-bit game, but this is like... This is definitely higher fidelity graphics than what Pole Position was even able to accomplish, so... Early 90s 16-bit was definitely of a much higher quality than early 80s 16-bit. Oh my god, dude, okay, I'm just realizing now that I am braking way too much, and I need to stop doing that immediately. Okay, there we go, look at that. That's the sunset now. We're in sunset. We're in sunset paradise, or is it sunrise? I have no idea. Well, actually, I don't know. Did the entire season change? Because I noticed that all the trees have changed color as well. Everything's like brown and yellow. We in autumn all of a sudden? I mean, that would be appropriate, because we are in autumn in the real world right now. Get out of my way. Oh my god, I just spun that dude out completely. Oh, frick. Okay, well, yeah, this is just... I am just the absolute worst Formula 1 driver in the history of everything. The history of everything. It's good wording. I think you need to use the analog steering wheel in order to choose which tracks you want to go to as well. I feel like it is a little bit sensitive, because I was actually trying to go to Interlagos, but I just ended up, choosing the Circuit de Catalunya again, which I actually didn't want to go back to here, but... I mean, it doesn't really matter either way, guys, because I think, other than that, I am pretty much done with this game and done with this video. Because, I mean, I don't have anything more to say about this. It's just Formula 1 racing, man. It seems like the circuits are at least, you know, pretty accurate to their real-world counterparts. But I mean, it doesn't change the fact that it's just straight Formula 1 racing, man. It's about as traditional as a racing game can be, honestly. And I mean, I still feel like Double Axel is definitely the superior racing game that Taito put out, for absolute sure. I definitely felt like Double Axel had potential to be, like, somewhat commercially successful, but I don't think it ever was. But I mean, yeah, I am still digging this whole, like, 16-bit third-person aesthetic right here, where it's, like, pseudo 3D, but everything is still sprite-based. It definitely doesn't feel as fun to play as Double Axel, though. And I'm sorry that I keep comparing this game to Double Axel constantly, but it's just like, you know, Taito also made that game as well, and I don't know, I just feel like in some ways this is kind of like a step down from that. Okay, there we go, I was actually able to choose Interlagos that time. Okay, let's just go back here for just a moment. I failed that track on the second lap, by the way, that was just pathetic. Pathetic performance all around, my goodness. You know what I also find really strange? There's not even any option to reset the cabinet at all. You can't even reset this cabinet either. Because I believe all the other arcade games that I've shown on Mayhem so far, they all had the option to reset the cabinet from like the main pause menu. This one doesn't have that option though, and not even any dip switches that you can like mess with and change around and switch around and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, there's absolutely no potential at all to have any fun with this whatsoever, and that kind of sucks, honestly. Yeah, I don't really appreciate anything about that. Wait, am I going into pit road? Okay, no, pit road's on the left side. I mean, if I tried going into pit road even though I had no damage, would that still work? I kind of like to try it out, honestly. I kind of like to see. Maybe I will actually try it out in just a moment. There we go, just got a long straightaway right here. Oh my god, I just keep crashing. I keep spinning out on everything, dude. Come on. Get some traction control on you, boy. Here we go. And also, like, stop colliding with everything as well, because that's what's tripping me up. Oh my actual god. Okay, the engine is busted. Okay, well, I'm gonna need to go to pit road anyway, because the engine's about to blow up and die. Well, actually, wait a second. That gives me an opportunity to do something. What if I just do this on purpose? Does that cause even more damage? I don't know, like, is there any way to just completely disable my car? By crashing it into the walls enough times? Maybe there isn't. Maybe it's like you get the damage, and then, you know, you're just really slow for a while after that until you repair it. I don't know, maybe there is no way to actually, like, disable your car completely. Yeah, it certainly feels like the damage model is completely random in this game, because sometimes the gearbox gets busted, other times the engine gets destroyed, and it's like it's always the same kinds of crashes over and over, so it really does feel like it's just completely random. Also, I forgot that I put automatic transmission back on, but whatever, that's fine. I do think I am going to be ending this video fairly soon anyway. There we go, get out of my way, everyone. Get out of my way. I'm in 5th place somehow. How exactly are we doing this? How exactly did this happen? Okay, hang on a second. I want to try and just end up dying. Because that's what I was destined to do. That was my destiny. My destiny was to die in a Formula 1 accident? What? No, my real destiny was to just be bad at video games and then record myself being bad at video games. I've been doing that for like the past 11 years now, so yeah, I don't even know why I'm still doing this, honestly. Why I'm still torturing myself like this and embarrassing myself like this online, but oh my actual god. Well, he came down with me, okay? If I'm going down, you're all coming down with me. That's the deal, alright? Especially these freaking blue cars. These blue cars are the bane of my existence. Also, these chicanes are the bane of my existence as well. Oh my god, dude. Oh, why is it so wobbly? This camera, too. Oh my goodness. I don't know, maybe you can't collide with those arrow signs. Maybe it's not possible to do that. Okay, can I try going into pit road? Never mind, I just keep hitting the barrier over and over again. Fine. Lap 3. Let's see how long we can survive for here. I don't know. Okay, actually, the number 4 car is coming up from behind me. Okay, let's see if I can just, like, you know, stay as far ahead of him as I possibly can. There we go. Oh, goodness. Okay, maybe I can... There we go. That's like a hard right turn right there, so maybe when I get into that turn, I slow down. I hit the brakes. I pump the brakes a little bit, so I can get through it without, like, colliding with everything. Goodness. There we go. Get to lap 4. Oh my god, it's so crazy, dude. This camera angle. Okay, well, oh, I got 6th place that time. Alright. Well, I mean, everyone else still passed me regardless, but I guess it counts, because the race technically ended before everyone was able to pass me. Very nice. Okay, I feel like I'm just getting distracted over and over by everything that's happening right now. And I really would like to try and end this video now, because I got nothing more to say. I think the last thing that I'm going to try and do is try and see if I can still enter pit road even if I have no damage on me. That's what I want to try and find out, okay? That's what I would like to try and figure out at this moment in time, okay? That's the last thing I want to try and do. One last thing that I want to try and experiment with, and then after that we're done. Oh goodness. Yeah, after that we'll be done, okay? We'll be done after that. Because I feel like I have no chance. I have no chance in this race at all. Like, oh my god, man. I just don't even know. How does that even happen? I just... Okay, never mind. I have to go to pit road because the tires got fricked up. Well, oh my god, man. This is what I mean. It feels random. It just feels completely random, dude. Also, is there a way that I can manually change the camera angle here? Like, is there a way that I can actually disable the, sorry, is there a way that I can enable the cockpit view at all? Or like the, well, yeah, like the helmet cam, I guess you could say. Is there any way that I can enable that manually? Or am I just stuck in third person? And the only way I can see that is maybe when I'm in, oh my god, 340 kilometers per hour? Wait a second, how am I accomplishing this exactly? Is there any way that I can enable the helmet cam manually? Can I change the different views? Can I change the views here? Like the different viewpoints? I don't know if there's any button that allows me to do that. I mean, it's an arcade game, so maybe it doesn't. Okay. Suspension is broken now. Everything is just suddenly braking on my car. When literally none of that was happening previously. Okay, dude. Oh yeah, the suspension is completely broken because look how wibbly wobbly everything is now. Oh my god. If my car could please just stop disassembling itself for just one moment. I want to see if you can still enter pit road without any damage on you. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna try something. No, you know what? I'm gonna... No. I'm gonna... Can I actually go backwards in this game? Will it allow me to do that? Hang on a second. Go... Oh, no. It doesn't actually... Oh, it doesn't let me steer far enough to the left or the right for me to actually turn around and go backwards. Huh. Well, alrighty then. Fine. I guess it's just forcing me to go forwards then. Fine, you don't want to let me have any fun, apparently. This game wants me to have no fun at all. Okay, fine, I'll just do this the intended way, and we'll see if we can get in pit road and not, you know, not try and damage ourselves in the process, because it just, you know, it would just be completely pointless at that point. Okay, here we go. I sustained no damage. Go to pit road. Oh my god, no. It just straight up doesn't let me go into pit road. There's like an invisible wall there. Yeah, this game just doesn't want to let me have any fun at all, dude. God, what even is this? I don't like this at all. Okay, I don't know what's happening anymore. This game is just being silly now, okay? This is just a silly game. That's what this is. It's all just silliness at this point. I mean, does it depend on how fast you run into a wall to get damaged? I'm just trying things out now. Yeah, see, I'm not getting damaged by that, though. So what the frick, then? How does the damage model work in this game? I don't understand. Is it just completely random? Because I feel like it might be. That's my prevailing theory at the moment. If there is at least one compliment that I can give to this game, I do actually like the game's music quite a bit. The ground effects soundtrack low-key kinda slaps. Especially the attract mode theme in particular. Yeah, the music in this game is actually not bad, like it really isn't. Everything else about this game, though, I have strongly mixed feelings about. Well, except for the sprite art, because I do feel like the sprite art is still very high quality. And I mean, I do think it is kind of funny how you can actually, like, sometimes see the wheels just flying off of some of the vehicles as well. Like when they crash into walls. It seems like you can only see that on the computer opponent cards, though. Especially the blue opponents in particular. But yeah, I mean, the sprite art is not bad at all. Like, the sprite art is still very high quality, I would say, and I already did mention that it's definitely a lot higher quality than Pole Position. Which does make sense, because, I mean, this game came out like 10 years after Pole Position. So obviously, you know, you're gonna be working with, much more powerful, like, arcade boards here, of course. So it makes sense. Oh my god, that guy just flipped out for some reason. I don't exactly know why, it didn't even seem like he collided with anything. Or I couldn't see what he collided with. But yeah, I really have, like, nothing more to say about this. I feel like I have been saying that for the past 10 minutes, but I still haven't ended the video. But I am going to after this track, because I think this is actually my last credit here, if I'm not mistaken. The last credit that I have in the machine right now, so I do believe that we are going to be ending things off after this. Let's see if I can get to lap 4, though. Okay, yeah, I was able to get to lap 4. Okay, so it's raining again after sunset. Yeah, so I'm guessing that maybe the weather patterns are just completely random as well. Like, I don't know how any of this stuff works. Everything about this game just seems completely random. Whether it be the weather patterns... well, I mean, I guess it makes sense that the weather patterns would be random, though. Because, I mean, the weather doesn't always occur in a predictable pattern. Like, it pretty much never does. So, I mean, it makes sense in that context. But, like, the damage model in this game, I just don't understand at all, man. Like, I just really don't. It's like sometimes when you crash into a wall, nothing happens. Other times... oh, game over. Oh my god, what is this screen right here? Jesus. Okay. Oh yeah, and that's just it. The game just resets after that. Okay. Well, I guess I could just keep the attract mode on, just to, you know, let you guys watch it. Oh yeah, there's also this weird cutscene that plays at the start of the game that kind of looks like a full motion video cutscene, interspersed with like an in-game cutscene, or with like a cutscene with the in-game graphics. God, why was that so difficult for me to say? Yeah, there you go. I mean, you have McLaren, so it seems like you have licensed car manufacturers in this game, which again, does kind of make me wonder if this was officially sponsored by, like, or officially licensed, rather, by, the FIA. I don't really know. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep the attract mode on, and you guys can just, enjoy this attract mode while I'm trying to end the video here. So, yeah, that's ground effects. I feel like this game is maybe a little bit too traditional for my liking. I mean, it's Formula 1 racing. That's all I can really say about it. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, man. Like, there really is, nothing more to this game, honestly. But still, it is a pretty decent racing game, if a little bit generic, but certainly not a bad game by any means. It just feels, I don't know, I guess it feels just a little too familiar, you know what I mean? But yeah, Taito's attempt at creating a Formula 1 racing game, not their first attempt, I believe, because I think their first attempt at creating an F1 racer was technically Speed Race. Yeah, wait, why is this guy... okay, this guy just stops automatically after a while. Okay, I guess that's the entirety of the attract mode. I thought he was gonna play out that entire race, but I guess he doesn't. Yeah, even this logo right here, FIA Formula 1 World Championship, which makes me think that this is officially licensed. But I have no clue if it is or not, though. There's also a really cool little cutscene right here. Yeah, I mean... yeah, that's just it. I really should just end the video now, so that is what I'm going to do. That's ground effects. This was the only other racing game from Taito that I wanted to play, and again, like I said before, I originally wanted to do a double feature video where I played both double axle and ground effects, but again, I am really glad that I didn't, because I feel like if I did... that video probably would have ended up being over an hour long. And the whole purpose of my double feature series is to show off some really tiny games that wouldn't take me, like, an excessive amount of time to record. But I do feel like, after a while, my double feature videos started becoming, like, very long. Because I think there were some double feature videos I did that were actually over an hour long, so... I don't know. I kind of feel like I eventually lost the plot with that series completely. And I might try to bring that series back eventually, but I really need to try and figure out how to pace those videos a lot better. Once I figure that out, maybe then I'll bring that series back, but yeah, there is a reason why the double feature series has been absent from my channel for a little while. It's one of those things where I'm really not sure at this point if I really am even that interested in bringing it back. I feel like I just have a lot more fun doing standalone videos on all the games that I play on my channel, so that might just be what I continue to do going forward. But with all of that out of the way now, I hope you guys still enjoyed this video, and this is probably not going to be the last Taito game that I cover on the channel, because I have wanted to do a video on Arkanoid for a while, so that might actually be the next game from Taito that I try to do, that I, like, try to do a video on. That's not going to be the next video, though. I have no idea when exactly I'm going to do the Arkanoid video, but it'll happen at some point in the future, probably. As usual, I am not going to provide the download link to this game in the description, because, again, it's a ROM you can find on the internet if you search hard enough. Google is your friend, as I always keep saying. So yeah, just go and find it yourself. That's what I always keep saying whenever I play arcade games like this, and yeah, that's it. Video's done now. If you're looking for a genuinely decent racing game to play that was developed by Taito, go play Double Axle instead. And if you're looking for a really good Formula 1 style arcade racer to play in modern times, go play Trackmania. Anyway, thank you guys as always for watching, and I will see you in the next video I make. Later.